Japan is an amazing place with the most unique culture, but since it is an island country, many don't know there are bears there. In fact, the bear situation has gotten very out of hand, with bears entering homes, randomly appearing on roads, and even climbing balconies. Today, in this video, we have them all, so make sure to sit through to the end. Let us begin with the video. In all his innocent glory, this man was calmly cutting some mushrooms growing on trees and logs on the forest floor, maybe preparing for a meal that was yet to be made. His little adventure almost met with a dramatic end as he hears something in the distance and looks over to it. There we can see that a bear spotted him and charged towards him.
Hurrah! 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 Hurrah!
As the bear comes out of the bushes, he is glad that it is a small one, but even a small guy like this gave him a run for his money. It bit him and his stick multiple times and ate that stick to its head like nothing had happened. The little guy shows this man that even something as small as him can pack a lot of fight. If you think that it doesn't hurt, or it might be too easy to fight off a bear cub like that, then take a look at this man's pants as he tilts his head down to see what it had left as a reminder. His pants are completely cut, as if someone slashed at them with a knife. Here in this forest, this man decided it was a nice spot to fish out some freshwater fish from the creek we see here. He tries to look for a nice spot to settle down, but his little endeavor is interrupted when a bear comes running from the side. The animal tackles him to the ground, and if it wasn't for his yelling, it would not have let him off that easily. The bear runs away at the end, and the man begins to get up and looks around to make sure that the animal is gone. To his and our surprise, it came rushing back in for one last charge, and that too is thankfully dealt with bravery. A van driver parked at the wrong spot near a jungle when he was approached by a bear that was more than just curious. It begins investigating the van without any fear of anything happening. As soon as the man inside moves and makes noise, the bear floats off the van and leaps right down the jungle path as if it was flying. With his beautiful dog, this person was walking down the road when they heard a familiar sound and whipped out their camera. The dog, too, knew about what was coming, and a bear jumps right out of the bushes and goes in for the attack. The man begins screaming at the animal to drive it away, and the dog jumps in on the action as well. Just to make things final and sure from his side, the man lets out a few more screams and guarantees that the bear won't be coming back for another round with the duo, and begins walking back on the track as usual. While driving down the road, these people came across a mother bear and her cute little cubs running down the road, fleeing from the oncoming car. The cubs are slow, and the mother stops and looks back to make sure they are clear from any potential danger this car might cause them. Before they know it, she comes charging in like crazy and bumps the car with her paws. Here is another mother bear coming in hot to defend her little cub, who clearly does not need any defending, as the little guy is moving just as fast to attack the car. The driver backs up patiently as the two fly right towards them, but at the last moment the duo heads left toward the bushes. Since the little guy can't jump that high, the mother hops back down, and the two continue running this way as the mother takes charge to keep her baby from running too close to the vehicle or going off somewhere else. While out enjoying the forest, this man stumbled upon a bear and instantly began recording. As soon as he did, the bear that was standing across the little river began running towards him. The animal gets closer and closer, prompting the guy to start moving backward, but very slowly. However, the bear is not slowing down. When the bear is almost across, it slows down and begins to contemplate its next move. It does not know whether to keep approaching or just head back. Seeing that the guy is not making a run for it, the bear feels intimidated and turns around to start heading back before it finds itself in danger. Leaving your doors open, especially if you live near a forest, can call for uninvited guests inside your house. Guests that look like this. This bear takes its time to go around the house slowly. As if it seems that nobody is home at first, its first instinct is to collect as much food as it possibly can. Later, the animal can be seen sitting on a sofa and using it like it was actually meant to be used. It calmly sits on the sofa and is probably cozying up on that soft foam it is feeling for the first time in its life. It later gets off and proceeds to check out another room in the house.
なんと椅子に座っている姿も捉えられていました。栃木県日光市の宿泊施設。
Here is what happened when it left the sofa. The owners came back home after shopping the whole day, and the bear starts moving out of their sight immediately. They seem to be completely unaware that there is anyone inside their home but them. This fisherman is showing off his catch to the camera, and while that is one impressive catch, there is something spooky about it. If you look at the back, there is an animal looking at him from afar, probably wondering if they can steal the catch out of his hands. As the fisherman explains to us what he has caught and what he probably plans to do with it, the bear creeps in closer and closer until the man stands up to put the fish away. It is only then that the man spots the bear and comes into action mode. As this person walks along the hiking track, he knows that there is a bear family right beside him. He keeps his cool and keeps walking, trying to ignore the bears and not draw any attention towards himself, or else it could mean something fatal for him. Unluckily for him, the mother bear, feeling the need to defend her babies, acts up and starts running towards him. However, this was a brave man himself, and he kept everything uniform and cool, not acting the way most of us would have. These hikers have stumbled upon a very interesting sight. A black bear seems to be grazing right between them, and they know that they should not cross over just in case the bear decides to change its diet. They wait patiently for the bear to move on its own. The animal does begin to climb upwards, and that gives them a chance to walk over, but nobody is willing to take the risk and begin moving right in front of the bear. The animal is clearly fully immersed in its feeding time and does not seem to be much interested in them anyway. This hunter managed to trap a bear and cage it, due to it causing distress in the area and the local population. The bear had not committed a crime, but it had to be relocated for its own good so that it does not hurt people, and vice versa. And this guy is as angry as they come. And who could blame him? Nobody wants to be locked in a cage. This one time, when the hunter gets close to the cage and almost sticks his phone through, the bear lunges forward with lightning speed, and if it weren't for the metal rods of the cage, the bear would most definitely have caught him and turned the tables on him. The animal is later released, of course, but in a more suitable environment. These photographers were busy taking pictures of the forest in all its elements. They went to the creek here and got to witness an amazing spectacle. A bear chasing down another animal as it runs right in front of the bear. That is an opportunity, and these guys start clicking right away. After the bear let the little guy go, it went uphill to look at the photographers, and after observing them for a while, the bear came right back down and started to approach them instead. The old man is not risking anything and takes matters into his own hands. He picks up a rock and is clearly not afraid to use it. After fending off the bear once, the animal comes back for round two, and the old man this time gets on the offensive. He throws rocks at the animal's general direction in hopes of scaring the animal away without actually hurting it. The bear understood the memo and booked out of there as soon as it could. On the other hand, here is a rider who got to witness a bear trying to make a crossing to the other side as he was riding down this beautiful mountain road. The animal instantly begins running the other way and almost becomes roadkill for a second. But all is well for both of them. Over in Japan, they mostly use screen doors that slide open instead of the traditional style doors found in the rest of the world. That is beautiful in its own regard, but this bear seems to have mastered the way to open those doors as it tries to come inside this house while the homeowner records everything.
目に飛び込んできたのはクマ。網戸を開けようとしています。
It might be a little guy, but he is committed to maybe getting inside the place because he is sticking around on the balcony and not moving from there. You can see that even for a little guy, it has huge claws that can easily rip through your skin if it got its paws on you.
家の中を覗き込んでいます。窓ガラスを隔て、距離にしてわずか数十センチ。
This rider and his friend got the chance to ride through the forest path, and they took the opportunity. Everything was going well and smooth when all of a sudden they stumble upon a bear right in the middle of the track. The animal panics and runs back into the green, leaving the riders with a decision to make, and they too make a U-turn and start heading back. This fisherman and his friends were busy standing in the river trying to catch fish when the actual local of the area decided to roll up and maybe grab something to eat too. The bear swoops down and they shout to their friend to look out just in the nick of time. Let's just hope that both parties got their fish. Another fisherman decided to select this very creek to start fishing in. The beautiful landscape is a perfect place to relax and dial down with this activity, but he was not aware of the danger that was lurking right under his nose. A bear can be seen sitting right there, and he takes his time to realize that.
クマいたおふクマだよおい近すぎね今の
These people drove right into what seemed like a trap set by bears. Thankfully it wasn't, and this bear was just casual about being almost hit by a car. This goes to show that these guys have become accustomed to cars and won't scare away from them when they see them approach like this. A bear can be seen feasting on something from the ground while people watch it from the safety of their vehicle. This seems like a sight to behold, as the bear is standing right there beside the road while not really paying attention to the people here to see it. On top of this rocky hill, you can clearly see two ears popping out from behind the rocks. A black bear can be seen hiding behind them, and people can't seem to believe what they have stumbled upon. The animal starts walking downhill as it knows it's time to move. Here you can see just how close these guys are to the bear, and the bear seems to have other things on its mind right now, as it does not pay any attention to the people standing only a couple of feet away from it. Talk about being brave, for both man and beast at this point.
うわ
After nearing the bushes, the animal starts running, as if it's had enough of the attention and now just wants to disappear behind the vegetation.
マジかこれ怖っ
This driver was speeding down a piece of gravel and dirt when he suddenly found himself chasing after a black bear. The bear is running at full speed at the moment, and to be honest, this makes for a very hilarious sight. The lumpy bear tries its best to outrun the car until finally it turns into the bushes. This road seems to have something very special buried inside of it. A few cars stop to see what the animals are up to because it is not usual to see not one but two bears digging something out on the side of the road. Seems to be something tasty though, as both of them don't care about the cars mounting up around them.
すごいよほらこんな近くでこんなめったないよ
Might as well leave them to it, because winter might be approaching. Comment down below what you think these guys are up to, because we're not sure if grubs and worms are on the menu for these guys.
すごい魚見ちゃった。でも平まで見えた。
Like the one before, these people also caught up to a bear walking down the road, but this time late at night. The animal takes its time to get off the road because it probably knows that nobody is really going to do anything to it. Talk about not having a care in the world. A lounging bear cools down in the water, but its leisure time is short-lived when a man in boxer shorts seems to get in between the bear and its time to relax. If that doesn't provoke anyone, then what does? A driver drives his car down this narrow and quiet road, and seemingly enough, the coast remains clear until, after a little while, he spots a bear running across the road. The animal seems to have gotten confused, as it can't scale the wall, so as the driver rolls by, the bear keeps its guard up and prepares for an attack. This man is hot on the tracks of a bear as he has been following it for quite some time now. He found droppings and other evidence that indicate that there is a bear here somewhere. Brave enough, he continues his on-foot endeavor as much as he can. After coming across a small shelter with long vegetation beside it, he hears something rustle in the plants. If you look close enough, you can actually see them moving as the bear walks slowly towards the man. If this does not remind you of classic thrillers or horror scenes from the movies, then I don't know what will. The bear finally steps out of the brush, and it actually does not look as intimidating as it seemed before. The animal looks around and looks at the cameraman, sniffing the air thoroughly before running back into the same vegetation. That was as if it realized that someone is watching it, and it doesn't smell like a friend. This hiker was having a nice trek along the mountain trail when his journey came to a sudden pause. He spotted a black bear right there in front of him on the little hill. The bear can probably smell him by now and just needs to trace the man with its eyes. And that's exactly what it is doing. Thankfully for him, the animal is not able to spot him and starts moving off slowly, which means not only is he safe, but also that he can probably go back to his hiking adventure again. Would you keep hiking, or just turn around and go back home at this point? This biker came across a bear that was just sitting on the road he was using. When he sees the bear, he stops the bike right there and lets the bear move on from its path, but things start to get intense instead. The bear starts to walk towards the biker, who begins to back himself up to keep the distance ample between himself and the bear, but that bear is not letting him off so easily right now. As soon as the animal climbs over to the other side, the rider books it and makes sure to take full advantage of the situation. He speeds past the animal while it looks at him all the way through that little flyby. Lastly, here's a peaceful encounter that shows us a mother bear teaching its kids that it is sometimes okay to be calm around humans. In respect of that, the person keeps their vehicle's engine off so that the family is not disturbed by him at all and can make a safe and easy passage across.